There are over 9.7 million Amazon sellers and over 4,000 new sellers join Amazon each and every day. And it's because Amazon is over a $2 trillion company and over 50% of e-commerce sales happen on Amazon. And 66% of those sales come from third-party sellers, meaning not Amazon. People just like you and me. Plus, more than 400,000 Amazon sellers make over $100,000 a year selling on Amazon. So is it too late to sell on Amazon in 2025? A lot of sellers think so because of these following reasons. The market's oversaturated, other competitive websites like Temu and TikTok Shop, startup costs are on the rise, there could be a recession looming and prices are going up, people are concerned about a recession, and lastly, increasing fees. There are more fees than ever right now to sell on Amazon. In this video, I'm going to rate how serious those issues are, and at the end, I will let you know if I believe that starting on Amazon in 2025 is worth it. So make sure to pay attention because the answer might surprise you. And after I launched my golf brand, Bogeys and Beers, with a golf tee-based drinking game, I learned quickly how fickle selling on Amazon can truly be, especially if the type of product you make gets flagged by Amazon before you start making any real money. There are things you need to know before you start selling on Amazon, and there is one big reason why it might not be too late, and it's this chart. This chart shows why now could be the best time to start selling on Amazon. But if you want to make money on Amazon, you need to understand how making money on Amazon works. So let's look at Amazon's journey and how you can build your own passive income with Amazon's marketplace. Amazon was launched in 1994, and for its first 3 years, it only sold books. But they were the only sellers, just Amazon selling products, no third-party sellers. Then Amazon started expanding into selling toys, games, and some electronics. But in 2000, they did something incredible. In 2000, Amazon opened their doors to third-party sellers like you and me. They already had 20 million customers. So for online sellers, it was life-changing. You could sell pretty much anything and make money. Today, Amazon has over 300 million customers, but they also have way more sellers, which makes it tougher than ever to sell. There are over 9 million sellers on the platform, but only 2 million are active sellers, and just 1 million of those are in the US. But even with all the competition, over 400,000 sellers make over $100,000 a year. That's over 40% of the Amazon sellers in the United States are making over $100,000 per year. So there is still opportunity for you to build your own business. Before we go into the 5 reasons it might be too late for you to sell on Amazon, there is something important to know. In 2010, Amazon did around $34 billion in sales. But last year, just over 15 years later, they did over $700 billion in sales. And this year, Amazon is expected to top over $800 billion in sales. And most of Amazon's sales come from third-party sellers like you and me. That's because in 2022, online sales made up just 16% of total sales. That number grew to 17%, and it's projected to hit 20% this year. As more people shop online, the opportunity grows for you as well. But in this video, we're going to talk about the reasons that it may be too late for you. And I'm going to share my real-life example of how I did selling on Amazon to show you just exactly how it can go wrong, how these problems affected me, and how they could affect you too. But I'll also share some solutions on how you can overcome these obstacles and ways I personally managed to launch my golf brand on Amazon, Bogeys and Beers, and make over $30,000 in just my first 12 months. My name is James, and before I reveal whether it's too late to start selling, I want to tell you that I'm sharing all of this knowledge from personal experience. I worked for Amazon as a program manager for almost 3 years, but myself and my entire department were caught up in those layoffs during COVID of 10,000 people. I needed a job that I had control of. I wanted a job that I couldn't get fired from, where I could be my own boss, be an entrepreneur. I came from a family of entrepreneurs. My grandpa was an entrepreneur. My uncle was an entrepreneur. And it always excited me to have that possibility in my future. So after I was let go from Amazon, I took the 3-month severance pay and decided I would start my own business. I just didn't know what. That's when I saw some YouTube videos by this guy named Travis teaching you how to sell your own products on Amazon. What made Travis's course different was that he was suggesting how to create your own product and not private labeling, wholesaling, or retail arbitrage. This really excited me, so I decided to join his passion product formula. I knew the first thing I needed to figure out was what I was going to sell. Travis tells you in the course to think of all of the things that happen on a daily basis in your life that annoy you or cause you stress, and to use those pain points to come up with solutions to create your product. My bachelor party was coming up, and I had some friends who were coming who were great at golf, some who were okay at golf, and let's face it, some who were not good at golf at all, or were too embarrassed to even want to pick up a club. And that's when I had the idea. What if I could create some kind of golf accessory that would bring all those different groups of people together, from the most skilled to the unskilled, so that everyone could have a great time out on the golf course and remember that it's all about having fun out there, not what score you shoot. That's when I had the idea to create a product around bringing great vibes to the golf course. I mulled this over for a few days and ended up coming up with a golf tee-based drinking game called Bogeys and Beers, where there are jokes, challenges, and drinking actions on each of the tees. So you pick a tee at the beginning of the hole, you have a drink, you have a laugh, and you keep it moving. And that is how my Amazon FBA product, Bogeys and Beers, the golf tee-based drinking game, was born. So make sure to smash that like button, because I'm going to tell you the truth about selling on Amazon. And I'm going to share some things that a lot of fake gurus on Amazon would never tell you. And if you don't know already, Amazon FBA stands for Fulfilled by Amazon, meaning when an Amazon customer buys your product, they handle the pick, pack, and ship for you. So you don't have to worry about getting your item, putting it in a box, taking it to the post office, getting a label. Amazon takes care of all of that for you. When Amazon gets over 1.7 billion page views per month, and they take care of the fulfillment and marketing for you, all you have to do is come up with a great product and send it into their warehouse. There are 4 main methods that people use to sell on Amazon. The first 3 are more generic. That's wholesale, retail arbitrage, and private label. Wholesale is when you buy a lot of a product at a cheaper price and then sell it on Amazon for more money, but you buy in bulk. Retail arbitrage is when you find discounts at stores like TJ Maxx or Macy's and you sell it for a markup on Amazon. And then private label is when you go on a website like Alibaba.com and you take generic products that are already listed for sale, you put your own label on it, and then you sell that directly. Those are the 3 more generic ways of selling on Amazon. The 4th and best way that I use to sell my product on Amazon is creating your own product. Now, this method involves sourcing a supplier, creating a custom product with a custom logo, and that really got me excited, the idea of creating my own product from scratch and selling it on Amazon. Now let's go over the 5 reasons it may be too late to sell on Amazon in 2025. The first reason why it may be too late to sell on Amazon is due to oversaturation. There's around 10 million Amazon sellers and over 1 million active Amazon sellers in the US, meaning there is a lot of competition now. It's much less likely that you're the only one who's going to be selling the type of product you want to sell. People like to talk about Amazon like it's a get-rich-quick scheme. And as someone who's been selling on Amazon for over a year, I can assure you it is hard work and it is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It takes real effort. The best solution to selling on Amazon in 2025 is to create a unique product that you're passionate about. so you can stand out, or focusing on niche branding. For example, my flagship product for my brand, Bogeys and Beers, is a golf tee-based drinking game. It's a completely unique product that doesn't exist anywhere else. It combines jokes, challenges, and drinking actions to help all skill level of players have great vibes out on the course, no matter how they're playing. It's a brand new product that helps anyone have a better time out on the golf course. And if you do what I did and focus on finding a niche and niching down, you could have a potentially successful brand on Amazon. The second reason why it may be too late for you to stand out on Amazon is Temu. In 2022, this became a huge concern because they had over 167 million customers. Temu was selling generic products for incredibly cheap prices that you couldn't compete with if you were selling on Amazon and trying to create a generic competitor. Temu enables customers to buy products at incredibly cheap prices directly from manufacturers overseas, cutting out the middleman and leaving no opportunity to compete if you're a third-party seller on Amazon with a similar generic product. Temu exploited a loophole where products under $800 could be shipped to the United States without paying tariffs, making Chinese products even cheaper in the US than what Amazon sellers could offer. Now, what does this mean for selling on Amazon? Temu's biggest advantage was ultra low prices, but with tariffs in place, their pricing strategy won't be as effective. Amazon offers a safer and friendlier user experience than a Chinese company like Temu. Since Amazon already complies with US import and tax laws, more consumers may prefer Amazon over Temu to avoid complications in this tariff environment we find ourselves in. Overall, these changes weaken Temu's position relative to Amazon, forcing them to rethink their strategy while giving Amazon sellers a better chance to compete on price and reliability. Also, Amazon sellers are going to provide quality products that cater to the US market more than Temu could. For example, creating a passion product and creating something that you wish existed, like I did with Bogeys and Beers, in 2025, if you're selling cheap junk products, that is a big concern. Temu is not known for good, high-quality products. They're creating the cheapest possible products with little innovation. And Temu cannot compete with niche product branding or passion products. When you have your own design, your own logo, your own materials, and you create your own product, that is going to give you the ability to compete not on price, but on value you're creating for your customers. Niche branding is when you target a specific audience within the Amazon marketplace. For instance, golf novelty products, or golf gifts for men. That's a way of niching down your product so it applies to less people, but you can better serve that targeted market rather than just generic hats or golf tees. Similarly, Travis noticed that no one was serving the electrolyte market and targeting the carnivore diet on Amazon. So he stood up a brand that specifically targeted those on the carnivore diet that were in need of electrolytes. The next reason why people may be hesitant to start and brand on Amazon is due to startup costs. Creating your own passion product on Amazon will have some startup costs that are going to be higher than some of the other methods of selling on Amazon, like retail arbitrage. However, spending this extra money up front is going to yield dividends for the future, because while methods like retail arbitrage constantly force you to find new products and list them on Amazon, creating your own passion product, you can list that product and create a family of products that continue to sell passively in perpetuity. So as soon as you create the brand architecture, you can just keep making money and making money because you're the only one selling the products that you're making. Startup costs for a new Amazon business when you're creating a passion product include things like creating an LLC or a DBA, getting a trademark registered, creating a logo, creating a custom design and possibly a custom product, getting samples of that product, in addition to doing an initial manufacturing run. Depending on the type of product you're creating, this can cost anywhere from $2,000 to upwards of $10,000 or more. However, there are ways to ensure you do it in the most efficient manner possible, and Travis talks about all of them in his Passion Product Formula course. There are ways to limit or minimize almost all of the startup costs you have by crowdfunding the campaign through Kickstarter or other crowdfunding channels. This will enable you to raise money before you start selling. With crowdfunding, concern is really low, because if your Kickstarter fails to get funded, then you don't have to move forward with the idea. However, if many people think it's a great idea and fund your Kickstarter campaign, only then do you have to move forward with creating the product. I made around $4,000 on Kickstarter for my Bogeys and Beers campaign before I started making the products. The fourth reason people do not start their Amazon business is because of fear of recession. Every year, people are concerned about a recession, but Amazon is getting more and more profitable every year. During 2020, data shows that people cut back on expenses like vacations, but they continued to spend money on e-commerce retail even during COVID, and perhaps especially during COVID. For example, products that are necessities have a higher chance of being recession-proof. For example, pet supplies, baby products, and groceries sell really well during a recession or not. And because people couldn't go on vacation during COVID, even though it might have been considered a recession, they were still spending money on small premium retail products on Amazon. However, if you think about it, something like retail arbitrage is not recession proof. And if a recession were to occur, that would be a big concern. So don't let fear hold you back. In fact, many of the most successful Fortune 500 companies were started during a recession. And this brings me to the final point about why people are afraid of starting a business on Amazon in 2025, and that is increasing fees. Honestly, when I was thinking about starting to sell my product on Amazon, I too was concerned about increasing fees on Amazon. Pick, pack, and ship fees were on the rise. However, Amazon's 15% fee that they charge every seller for every unit that's sold on the website did not and has not gone up. In addition, Amazon has promised not to raise fees in 2025. Increased fees are always a risk when starting a business with a company like Amazon. The amount of time, effort, and energy you save by having them take care of the marketing and distribution of your product more than offsets the fees that they charge right now. So the opportunity is still great to make a lot of money. You just need to make sure you choose a product with high enough margins to offset small increases in fees that are likely to come. For example, there's the product cost plus Amazon's 15% fee to sell on their platform for every unit sold, plus the Amazon pick, pack, and ship FBA fee, not to mention the marketing fees for PPC, which is Amazon pay per click, where you can pay a certain amount of money per click to show up at the top of search results. Now, all of these fees may seem like a lot of money, and they are. However, no matter how you sell your product, you're still going to have to pay to ship it to your customers. You're still going to have to pay for customer service, and you're still going to have to pay marketing to drive leads so people can find and buy your product. So even with all of the fees, these are things that you're going to have to pay for anyways, and it takes a huge load off you not to handle customer service and distribution and marketing, so you can just focus on making the best product possible and just be sure to give yourself enough margins to account for these fees and still be profitable. The problem with some of these other selling methods like private label is if other people come into the marketplace and start selling the exact same thing that you're selling with a different label, you're going to be caught in a price war to the bottom, and you're going to be forced to lower your price to sell these items, and that's going to lower your profit margin. However, with a passion product, you can position yourself as a premium product, which will enable you to preserve those margins and not get caught up in a race to the bottom. Selling generic products means when other sellers lower their price, you cannot raise your price or even keep it the same and keep those customers. But with passion products, that is not a big concern of mine. These products have higher profit margins, and customers buying premium products are less price sensitive. For instance, my Bogeys and Beers golf hat is made of the finest quality material. It's 95% polyester, 5% spandex. It's actually the same blend as the melon hats use, and those hats are selling for $70. My hats are selling for $34.99 on Amazon, still higher than many other hats on Amazon. However, I'm using a premium quality material. I have premium branding, which enables me to sell for higher than other hats. And believe me, if you try and do retail arbitrage or private labeling, you will not be able to have these margins. So even if Amazon raises fees in 2025 or beyond, I have the price ability to raise my prices and not lose my customers as easily as someone who's doing retail arbitrage and selling a generic product. Bogeys and Beers customers are gonna get a great deal no matter what. The melon hats are using the same quality material and they're selling for double the price. So we're always gonna have great pricing at Bogeys and Beers. We're always gonna use better quality material, and that's what's going to enable us to stay competitive and keep our profit margins, because we're creating so much value for our customers, because we put that money and time and effort into design and material quality on the front end. It enables us not to have to do that on the back end. So in conclusion, creating your own passion product is a far better way to make money on Amazon than private label, than retail arbitrage, and then wholesale. If you want to learn how to start your own Amazon business, I recommend joining Travis's Amazon FBA course, The Passion Product Formula. It has over 100 tutorials on every step in the process of creating your Amazon business. One-on-one coaching sessions, and my personal favorite, live Q&As with an experienced Amazon seller who's proven themselves as a competent Amazon seller, who can answer any questions you might have throughout the process. Click the link in the description below to sign up for the waitlist now. But if you're not ready to join just yet, Travis does have a completely free 10-hour Amazon FBA course, and you can get it by clicking the link here. And if you want to check out my Bogeys and Beers products, my Bogeys and Beers hat, or my Bogeys and Beers golf tee-based drinking games with jokes, challenge, and drinking actions on each and every tee, click the link in the description and you can go to my Amazon website, 19th Hole Golf, or type in Bogeys and Beers on Amazon. And good luck to you on your Amazon journey.